Hello, kindergarten. So, we're ready to read chapters 3 and 4 of Junie B. Jones is Not a Crook. Now, I'm wondering why on earth anybody would think she is a crook. What is a crook? Good answers. A crook, somebody that has done something wrong. And it looks like almost like she's going into jail, right? Crook is like a criminal. Why would they say Junie B. Jones is a crook? Find out. Chapter 3, Being Brownie. Mrs. said I could have my mittens back at recess. I stared and I stared and I stared at the clock. Then I tapped my fingers on the table and I did loud breaths. Lucille tattled on me. Mrs. Junie B keeps tapping her fingers and making loud breaths and I can't even concentrate on my work, she grouched. Mrs. came to my table. Hello, how are you? I said, kind of nervous. I'm fine, except I don't actually have my mittens. She tapped her foot real fast, and that is not a good sign, I think. Only this then, the bell rang for recess. Oh boy, I yelled. Oh boy, because I could have my mittens back. Oh boy, I could have my mittens back. Right, Mrs.? Right? I zoomed to her desk and I put them on my hands and I rubbed those soft things all over my cheeks. Oh, it's so good to be with you again. After that, I put on my attractive winter jacket and I skipped outside with my friends. Me and that tattletale Lucille and that Grace, we like to play horses together at recess. I am Brownie, Lucille is Blackie, and Grace is Yellowy. I'm Yellowy, shouted Grace. I'm Blackie, shouted Lucille. I'm Brownie, I shouted, only just then I looked at my mittens. I did a frown, because there was a little bit of a problem here, I think. Only, how could I even be Brownie? Because my horse paws are black, and so I'm two different colors, apparently. Lucille and that Grace did frowns, too. That Grace said. Said Lucille, and said I. Just then, Grace clapped her hands together. I know, Junie B. Today, you and Lucille can trade. Today, Lucille can be Brownie and you can be Blackie. And so that way, your horse paws will be the right color. Me and Lucille looked at each other. Because what kind of crazy idea was that girl coming up with? How could I even be Blackie when I'm Brownie, Grace? I've been Brownie like my whole career. You can't just go changing, you know? Yeah, Grace, you just can't go changing, said Lucille. That Grace looked embarrassed at herself. Oh, yeah. What was I thinking? She said. After that, all of us sat down in the grass and we tapped our chins. We thinked and we thinked and we thinked, and all of a sudden, my whole face lighted up. I got it. I thought of it. I know exactly what to do. I jumped up. Start again, Grace. Go ahead. Say your name. Say you're Yellowy. Grace looked kind of curious at me. I'm Yellowy, she said. And I pointed at Lucille. Go ahead. I'm Blackie, she said. And I spinned around really, really joyful. And I said, I'm Brownie. Only guess what? Yesterday, my grandpa Brownie bought me black furry mittens. And so that's how come I am two different colors, apparently. And after all that, we did high fives. And we played horses. We galloped and we trotted and we snorted and we snuffled. Only too bad for me because the sun kept beating down on my horse head. And I got kind of drippity inside my attractive winter jacket. I'm going to die from heat perspiration, I think. That's how come I trotted over to a tree and I took off all my stuff. First, I took off my attractive winter jacket, and then I took off my furry black mittens, and I piled them in a careful, nice, neat pile. After that, I galloped away to go find my horse friends. And we played and we played. And there are the three friends playing horsey. So this character right here is Grace. That's Lucille. And that's our silly Billy Junie B. Jones. So Yellowy, Blackie, and Brownie, that now is two colors. Pretty soon, Mrs. blew her loud whistle. That means the end of recess. Coming, shouted Yellowy. Coming, shouted Blackie. Coming, I shouted. And then I hurried up back to the tree to go get my stuff. Only guess what? I saw something very terrible there. And it's called, "Hey, somebody stole my mittens!" That was chapter 3. Chapter 4 is called No Teddy Backpack. No Teddy Backpack. I run all around the tree. 911, 911, 911. Somebody stole my mittens. Mrs. came very quick. They stole them. They stole my mittens. 911. I shouted some more. And Mrs. bent down next to me. Who, Junie B? Who stole them? She asked. A stealer. That's who. A stealer stole them. And so what kind of school is this anyway? Because I didn't even know there were crooks at this place. Mrs. said to calm down my voice. I can't even calm it down. It's that good. Because I am heartsick. That's why. Heartsick is the grown-up word for when your heart is sick. I looked at the ground pretty sad. Now all I have left is this dumb, attractive jacket. Mrs. picked it up and she holded my hand and me and her started to walk. You and I, Junie B, are going to the office, she told me. And I quick kicked my hand away from her. Oh, no, Mrs. I'm not allowed to go there. Mother said that if I get sent into the office one more time, I am grounded, young lady. Tears came into my eyes. Grounded young lady means I have to stay on my own ground. Plus, I think I could go on the rug. Mrs. smiled. I'm not taking you to the principal's office to punish you, Junie B. I'm taking you to the office to find your mittens. Principal? Principal, I asked, very shocked. Principal stole my mittens? Mrs. laughed really loud. No, Junie B, he didn't steal your mittens. The office is where the lost and found is located. After that, she took my hand again, and we hurried up to the office. So, two things. So, why do you think her mother said she's not allowed to go to the office anymore? Do you think maybe she's the kind of kid that visits the office, maybe gets in trouble sometimes? Because that's what happens. The kids that don't follow rules and make bad choices, sometimes they have to go talk to the principal about their choices. So it sounds to me like Junie B has been to the office before. Like I said, she's learning though. And she also yelled out 911. That should be a review for you guys. What does 911 mean? When you have to call for an emergency, that's what you press on the phone. Very good. There's a grouchy lady at that place, and I'm not very fond of her. Junie B needs to look through the lost and found, Mrs. told her. Please send her back to class when she's finished. Then Mrs. went back to room 9, and I was left here all by myself. That typing lady looked over the counter at me, and I did a gulp. Oh. Yeah, only I'm not even bad today, I explained, very nervous. Somebody stole my mittens, and that is the very end of my tale. The typing lady kept on looking at me, and she didn't say any words. So sweat came on my head. Phew, it's warmish in here, isn't it? I said. Just then I heard a door open. It was Principal. He was coming out of his office, and I jumped up and down at the sight because I know that guy very good. Principal, look, it's me. It's Junie B. Jones. My mittens got stolen on the playground, and so Mrs. brought me here to get them. So just hand them over, and I will be on my way. No questions asked. Principal looked kind of funny at me, and then he went to the closet and he pulled out a big box. This is the lost and found box, Junie B. Anytime that someone finds something that's been lost, they can bring it here and we put it in this box. How come? I asked. How come they bring it here instead of taking it home? Because one time I found a nickel on the street and Daddy said I could put it in my piggy bank because finding isn't the same thing as stealing, right, Principal? Finding means you're a lucky duck. Principal laughed a little bit. Well, Junie B, finding a nickel in the street is a little bit different. For one thing, it would be almost impossible to discover who the owner of the nickel really was. And for another thing, losing a nickel isn't really a big deal, but when someone loses something personal, like mittens, for instance, well, that's a very big deal. And so if someone else finds mittens, they can bring them to the lost and found, and then the owner knows where to get them back. He smiled, and that makes everyone happy, Junie B. The owner is happy because she has found her mittens, and the person who found them is happy because she has done a good deed. He pointed to a piece of paper taped on the box. See this? This is a poem the third grade wrote about the lost and found box, and this is what it says. If you find stuff, bring it in. All day long, you'll wear a grin. What's a grin? Show me what a grin is. Smile. I did a frown. Only here's the problem. I didn't lose my mittens. They got stole on purpose. And no one will bring them in. And no one's going to wear a grin probably. Principal raised his eyebrows. Well, you never know, Junie B. Why don't you look in there and see? He opened up the box for me, and that's when my eyes got really wide because it was filled of the most wonderfulest stuff I ever saw. There were sweaters and sweatshirts and baseball caps and gloves and balls, ooh, and a lunchbox and a scarf and sunglasses and a watch with Mickey Mouse on it. Also, there was a backpack that looked like a teddy bear. Oh, I always wanted one of these things, I hollered real thrilled, and I put it on my back and I skipped around the office. How does it look back there? I asked Principal. Should she be wearing that backpack? She looked in the lost and found box and she saw a backpack with a teddy bear on it. She liked it. Should she take it? Exactly, no, because that means somebody else is missing their teddy bear backpack. So that is not her. So Principal runned after me. He took off the teddy backpack and he put it back in the box. We're looking for your mittens, remember? Just then I felt upset again because I almost forgot about those furry guys. That's why. Oh yeah, my mittens, I said real glum. And I looked through the box a little bit more. There's Junie B skipping around the principal's office with the teddy bear backpack. And that's the principal. She calls him a baldy sometimes. I did a sad sigh. I felt upset again because I almost forgot about those furry guys. That's why. Oh yeah, my mittens. I looked through the box some more. They're not here. My mittens are gone forever, I think. I did a sad sigh. And I picked up the teddy bear backpack again. Maybe I'll just take this instead because the teddy backpack will ease my pain. Principal said, no. Well, how come? Because the owner doesn't even want it anymore, I bet. Her mother probably already brought her a new teddy bear backpack, and so this one's just going to go to waste. Principal stood me up and turned me toward the door. That meant I'm leaving, I think. Come back tomorrow and let's look in the box again for your mittens. I talked real fast. I just remembered something. I used to have a teddy bear backpack just like that one. Maybe. Only then I lost it probably, so I better take that one home with me, or else Mother might be really mad. Principal walked me to the door, faced me down the hallway. Goodbye, Junie B, he said. And I hanged my head really disappointed, because guess why? Goodbye means no teddy backpack. That is the end of chapter 4. So she needs to understand what is hers and what is good to take, what's not good to take, how the person might feel if it doesn't belong to them, because right now she's feeling kind of bad that she lost her mittens. So that means maybe there's somebody out there not feeling so great that they lost a teddy backpack. So of course she may not take it. It doesn't belong to her. That was chapter 3 and 4. The next chapter is 5, and it's called Gargling and Scribbling. Just wait and see.